The Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. From Barbados to Africa, voices unite. Educate minds, elevate sight. It's the Marcia Weekes Show. Talk truth, build roots, stories unfold. Motivate change, mobilize is the mode, that's the MR code. Hey, we growing, we know it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, that was the national anthem of Barbados. And I have in my hand this royal flag. It is the national flag of Barbados, and we are flying it very high tonight. All we talk about tonight, it's all about Barbados. We've pledged our allegiance to this beautiful country. May God bless you. Everybody who, if you have joined us tonight, we're in one accord tonight. We're asking, who is protecting BAJANS? Who is protecting Barbados? That's what we are asking tonight, and we have a great show lined up for you. Dave, I just sent you a graphic because it's hot off the press. If you could put that graphic up right away, right now, it's right in your WhatsApp. Folks, we have gotten the okay from Neil Harper. Neil Harper, he is our cyber security expert. When I say our, he's Barbadian. Let me lift up the flag again. Wave the flag. Neil Harper. And I think his name is spelled a little wrongly on this one, but we just want to at least you know who he is, and we'll have the name properly in the banner when we present tonight. And that is a feature of tonight's show. That occurred after we prepared the show, and I need you to share this with everybody tonight. Everybody stop right now, and I want you to like and to share tonight, because tonight is going to be very important. And so what we're talking to you tonight, it's not about hearsay. We're not going to be talking tonight about what we think per se in that particular segment, but you're going to hear from a cybersecurity expert, and he has given us this information so we can share it with you tonight. Okay, so he won't be on the show, but and I know you believe me when I said we could never come on and say we got permission from him if we didn't. All right, we got permission, and you know, Neil Harper has been a guest on the Marcia Weekes Show. He has been, and has contributed to even our trip to Washington. When we went to Washington, he was one of those who trained our people, and we were able to send our speeches to him, and he was able to vet them and make sure they were correct. And so when you saw us representing ourselves, Barbadians, in Washington, Neil Harper played an important role in that, and he has been playing an important role in Barbados as it relates to technology. And we thought that we wanted to bring that expert advice to you tonight. Yes, everybody's good with that. So I'm going to ask you kindly, if you would share, if you would like and share for me, please. This is a time for you to like and share. Okay, go ahead right now, share it. Okay, go right now, and I want you to like and share in your WhatsApp group. Share it in your groups, in your church groups. This is important because this is not our opinion on the show. I will be sharing his opinion and his expertise. Okay, I know Sharon said that she shared already, and I'm going to kindly ask others of you to share. All right, please, this is important, very important. We do not have enough technical people in Barbados who feel the freedom to speak out on our behalf. We do not have that. And so once we have that, we have to make sure we cherish that, because that's going to be very, very important in the days ahead. Information on this show, as you know, we educate, we motivate, we mobilize, and we agitate, Emma. And you're going to get that tonight. Okay, so that is coming up on the show at 8 o'clock. But before we even get to that, but I wanted to get that out the way early, so you know that that is coming up. Before we get to that, we are going to have Mr. Strickland, another professional. He is going to come on here. He's not a politician. And he is going to talk about what happened when workers lose their jobs, what happened in terms of NIS and pensions and all of that. He's talking about what's happening at the Grantley Adams International Airport right now, where workers are dissatisfied with the raise that they have received. You have CEO Williams. They are planning to lay off workers. He's going to talk about NIS and pensions. This is important. Who is protecting BAJANS? And we want to arm you with education so that you can protect yourself. Yes. And we have attorney Jason Phillips, and he is coming on tonight to continue his discourse on electoral reform tonight. Wasn't that amazing last week? Yes. He's going to join us this week at 8:30. Right, so that is half hour earlier than his regular time. He's going to join us at 8:30 this evening, and then after he's finished presenting on electoral reform or election reform, he's going to talk also on BIMPay, protecting democracy in a digital age. So we're going to be looking at that tonight, and Attorney Jason Phillips is going to be taking that on tonight. So all your questions about BIMPay and all of that, we will try to answer them. What I can't answer, we will collect the questions. Dave will help me to do that, and we can take them, and hopefully Neil Harper will be able to help us to answer some of your questions. He will not be on the show tonight, but he has given us the information to present to Barbadians tonight. Okay, so we want you to tune in. There is no Carifesta Files tonight, and the reason for that, we made a change the last minute. Last minute, we made a change tonight concerning Carifesta Files because of BIMPay and because of Neil Harper. Up to when the show went out, we had advertised that Carifesta Files would be on tonight, but we're holding that information to go with BIMPay because we know there's a lot of questions. There are lots of questions about BIMPay, and so we're going to run that tonight. All right, so please excuse us. Please excuse us for the advertising of Carifesta Files. We're not able to do it tonight. All right, but we will try again tomorrow night. Okay, if not next week Sunday. All right, Sharon, let me just welcome a few people before we jump into some announcements. Sharon, good night. She's saying good night to the entire posse. The Emma posse, the TMWS posse, loyal opposition posse. I love it. The backbone. Marcia and Dave, Dr. Ferdy, Miss McLean, and the others and the members of the loyal opposition. Hey, Sharon, thank you so much. I love that. Judy Jukes, good night, Judy. Monica Inns, Bajan boy, Teroni, a man called Teroni Macaroni. Lucinda, hey, Miss Lucinda. Marie Fully, good evening, Marcia, Dave, and loyal members. Oh, not of the DLP, beg your pardon, of the loyal opposition. And she says, I'm ready to join this broadcast, not forgetting Mr. Jason Phillips. Absolutely not. We're going to ask you, Marie, to make sure that you have liked and shared. All right. Make sure you've liked and shared. Very important information is coming to you. You're not going to, what we're going to tell you, what we're going to share with you tonight. I guarantee you, you're not going to hear that from the government. You're not going to hear that from regular media either. You're not going to hear it from regular media. You're not going to hear it from government. Yes, so you really need to listen in. Hey, Andrea, Carol, and Mavis Lashley. What? Yahweh? YHW. It makes me want to say Yahweh. Lori Bob. Lori, I didn't hear you call me. Hey, Marva. Pauline Maynard. How are you, Pauline? How are you? Diana husband, Sherry Berry. Sherry Berry, have you shared? Have you liked and shared? Please, information is too important to keep it to ourselves. We need to like and share. Sir Alfred, how are you? How are you? Matthew B, I'm going to ask you, Matthew B. I know you might be at work, but Matthew B, I'm going to kindly ask you if you could take a moment. I know you have a big broadcast, and share this for us tonight. And the reason we want it shared is because we have important information to share with you concerning BIMPay. It is important that you share it so that everybody gets the information and they can use it in the way that they see fit. All right. And they can use it as important information to ask the government some questions. All right. And to check it out, research and see if what the cybersecurity expert Neil Harper is saying is, if it makes sense. Yeah. We're all here to learn. And so Matthew B, I'm giving you a big shout out, and I'm giving you work to do. Can you share the Marcia Weekes Show tonight? Please stop and share it. Sylvia Rock, Shirley, Beverly Perscott, Sonia Birch, Annette Brewster, Judith and Clark. Judith, how you doing, my dear? Oh, Judith, you're a faithful one. So is Carrie, Aaron Hunt, Shirley. Oh, my Lord. Blessings. Annette Brewster. Yes, I know you like and share, Judith, Miss Jelks. You shared already? Yes. Hi, Denise Moore. Marcia Miller. Marcia, we need to chat. We haven't chatted in a little bit. Jacqueline, I want to talk about you tonight, a little later. Dave, if you can get the Elevate stuff ready for me. Kim Tae, a girl called Kim Tae. How are the studies going? Kim Tae, you finished your week? Kim Tae, do you want to do some give back hours? If you are studying at the University of the West Indies and you would like to give some hour, if you have to do give back hours, if you're doing a degree program, I think, then you have to do give back hours. You can do give back hours with Elevate, with the literacy program that we are starting across Barbados. If you come and you give your hours to us, we are able to, you can use them for credits towards your finishing your degree. Yes, because it's done through Praise Academy as well, and Praise Academy is registered. Okay. Praise Academy is registered. All right. Just let me just, I miss Equalizer, and I just felt like I need to go back and to say hi. Good night, Equalizer. I think it's the first I'm seeing you on. Welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show. This is Emma, Equalizer. We educate, we motivate, we mobilize, and we agitate. And you're going to hear how we are mobilizing around literacy in Barbados very, very soon. This is a moving train, Equalizer. And Joyanne Roberts, welcome. Welcome to everybody. Joyanne Faith. Oh, I'm sticking. Am I sticking a bit? Am I sticking, Joyanne? Somebody let me know if I'm sticking. Quickly, somebody tell me if I'm sticking. Pedro, good night, Pedro. I missed you. Am I sticking? Let me know, folks. Quickly, so that we can address it. Aaron Hunt is saying, no, I'm not sticking. Somebody says I'm good, not on your end. Okay, because it's good here. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. I want to hear, because the information we're about to give is so important, right? So I need you to listen up. Okay, now let me just quickly go into Elevate. Listen, let me make my picture a little bigger so you can see how I'm smiling. Listen, Thursday evening, Jacqueline, Aline, thank you. Angela Eunice Knight, thank you. Angela, can you share this? Very important. Neil Harper has given us something to share with Barbados tonight. BIMPay. And I think it's important that we understand. You can't say you didn't hear. So we want everybody to share. If Angela, good night again. And if you can share this, please, it's very important. This is not what we are saying, because we are not experts in this area. But at 8 o'clock tonight, we have some important information to share with you. Okay. Now back to Elevate. Listen, guys, Elevate was so amazing on Thursday. It was amazing on Thursday, and it went very well yesterday, Saturday as well. So we have it operating 2 days, Thursday and Saturday. I was at the one on Thursday in St. Philip, Bel-Air, St. Philip. And let me tell you, oh goodness, the children kept pouring in, and I was getting nervous. Like, what? How are we going to do this? How we don't have enough teachers and so on. And as the children were pouring in, guess what was happening? The people in the community came and they were teaching the children. Isn't that amazing? That is one of the, I am like, I was beside myself, y'all. I'm saying, yes, that's it. It's working. The community, that's it. That's what we want. They were coming in, they were bringing in books. They brought in, as they were bringing in children, they brought in books. Listen to me, it is working so well. And even on Saturday, 2 members of the community went into Bel-Air with flyers, and they were handing out flyers to the community, members of the community, to send their children. I don't know, I think we're going to run out of space. I told the pastor, I said, you're going to have to open up the actual church, because we're in the church, I guess you call it like the annex of the church. I don't know what you call that, Dave. Annex is good. and which is a big space, really nice space, and it's Jones Village Christian Mission Church. And we want to give a shout out to the pastors of Jones Village Christian Mission Church and the bishop. Dave, I'm forgetting. I wasn't planning to mention. Well, I don't know if I can mention the bishop over the entire Christian mission. I'm excited and not completing my sentences. Listen, that bishop didn't just come to see what we were doing. Because, you know, Marcia Weekes is up in the people church. You know, both the bishop and the pastor coming, right? Well, you know, I love that. I love the bishop. I love the pastor of that church. They didn't just come to watch what we're doing and making sure we weren't destroying the church. The pastor and the bishop, I went and asked them because I needed people to help to teach. I said, can you sit with this one? Because what we're trying to do, Angela, we do not want to have, you know, a big class. The most we'll have one person teaching is 3 persons. Okay. And guess what? We had one secondary school child there in second form. And so she was the odd one out. I grabbed the bishop. I said, Bishop, can you help this child with some grammar and some grammar? And he said, of course. And, you know, because he's a very well-learned man, his wife was a principal of a school, very well educated. And he sat there and, he had a ball. And that's Bishop Joel Hope, right, Dave? Joel Hope. And he did such an amazing job. And I am so happy. I can't explain my happiness to you all. And I didn't go on Saturday because I was so tired. I stayed home, but they carried it on there in Bridgetown. Okay, at Column Rock, right, at Praise Academy. So we have one that is happening at Praise Academy, and that one is growing. And I wasn't there, but I, you know, got reports everything went well. So, you know, this is, yes, now you are talking my language here. Grassroots, you're reading my mind, Angela. Come, I'm going to read all of your comments here. That's what we're building on, grassroots, non-partisan. And one of the things that I said to the bishop and the pastor, I said, listen, we are going to be supportive of this once it remains non-partisan. We do not want any support from the Democratic Labour Party. We do not want any support from the Barbados Labour Party. We do not want any support from the government. We don't want any politician around it. If you're a politician, don't volunteer. Don't volunteer. We don't want any politician. I don't want no politician coming around it. Please. No government. Nobody. We don't want no money. Don't bring any money from any political party and any help. If you're in a political party or you are running for any, you can stay away and pray. But don't bring the money. Don't come around. Don't come near it. Each one teach one. Each one help one. In fact, that's what what we say there. Each one teach one. We're building a movement from the ground. And it is no hope. And, you know, I want mentorship. And you know what was awesome? Listen, I'm using up the whole time talking about Elevate, and I need to move on to something else. But I am so excited. I am so excited for Barbados. It is an opportunity. There are almost 500 of us on here. If all 500 of us could just believe and just put our hearts and our minds together and believe it's possible that we can do it. We can do it. We do not need to wait on a government for everything. We don't have to wait on a politician to do everything for us. You know that I believe that there are some things that the government needs to do. You know that. You know that. Okay? So let's stick to the point I'm making. There are some things in this country that there is no legislation that's going to do it. We're talking about community spirit. Yes? I say it is done. Believe me, we are going to see so many children reading. How many of you believe that we are going to see hundreds and thousands of children reading in this country? How many of you believe that? If every community comes out like how Bel Air is coming out, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it in St. Andrew. We can do it in St. James. We can do it in St. Lucie. We can do it. I am so excited about this. And today, in my excitement, I'm excited, but I had to shed a tear today. I think I was out in the garden. I came in and I was ready to work on the show. And someone in the diaspora, two things happened today. Someone sent me a voice note, and I've asked some permission for me to share it with you. I have not gotten permission yet, so I won't share it until she tells me I can share it. That thing brought tears to my eyes. And the other one that had me bawling, was, Dave, show them what I came and saw. Look at what I came and saw, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Make sure we don't show her any details of her. Go up some more, D. It says deliveries. Go up. Let's read what it says. Here are your recent orders from the past 3 months. I've organized it. But before that, did it say anything before that I can read? No. Okay. No. Because I don't want, make sure we don't show anything we're not supposed to show. I saw this in my box. Angela, you're on the same wavelength with me. I can literally feel you. I feel what you're doing, Angela. I could feel the energy from you. Someone in the diaspora is sending us a brand new computer, desktop. Michelle had sent 4. I can't call her name because she said it's okay. And Michelle is sending more. And this person is sending 1 more. That means we can set up more elevates throughout this island. Can you imagine? I started crying because I never asked her. And then this is another person. This is not Michelle. Then she sends us a logic book. Go up a little bit more, Dave. A logic workbook for gritty kids, ages 8 to 12. So that's a logic book was sent, and she went and paid for this on Amazon I did not ask her. Then she sent us this is what is called let me do this. Let me move myself so you can see it. This is called this is a reading system. Okay, a reading system. If we go to the left, I think I will be able to tell them what the name of it is. I want to see the name of the reading system. Let me try my phone. I'm not making it out on there. Probably it's, but let me tell you the name of it. Okay, it's 7:30 and I've got to go, but I've got to tell you this. It's too important. But it's a reading system that she sent, all right, that we will be able to use. And I am so thrilled to see that this is happening without us asking. I didn't call her to ask her for anything. She would have seen it advertised. And so she decided to send it. And why am I not seeing it? Okay, I was trying to get it for you so you could. Dave, can you read it and tell me what it is? Can't see it. We're not able to make it out. I want to tell you what it is. There's a reason I want to tell you what it is, because if you want to send so that it can match, all right, you might want to look for it. Okay, I think I got it now. Oh, come on. Uh, mm, I'm not able to read it. I'm going to tell you at some point. Leapfrog, 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 leap reader system. Leapfrog. So if you want to send so that we will have, so we're using Leapfrog in some of the spaces. We use Abeka, Abeka, Abeka as well. I'm going to collate all of this information for you. And are you coming home for crop over? Some of you coming over to jump in crop over. In your bag, in your bag, in your bag, in your suitcase, can you put, please, a Leapfrog reader system? Can you order that and bring it in for us? When you do that, we can use that to serve so many children. I know we're not supposed to copy them, but we don't have, the funds to buy it. If we can give everybody a book, then we wouldn't have to copy. But we try to make do with what we have. All right. So the more reading systems that we can get, we were promised a Montessori reading system. If you have anything there that can help children to read, that is the problem. We have from class 3, class 2, class 1, we have infants. And the one thing that is running throughout the whole thing is reading. The reading is not good. And it's stemming from phonics, the vowels, all right? The A-E-I-O-U vowels. And so we want to stay on that. Can you help us? The adults, and one last thing, and Mr. Strickland is coming in right now. I don't want getting any trouble with him, but Mr. Strickland, I have to tell the people this one. Yes, one last thing I'll tell them, Mr. Strickland, is this. The other amazing thing that happened is that those same adults who came in and helped, they stayed for the computer literacy class. We have a computer literacy class, a digital literacy class. And the adults, we should see the seniors learning how to use a computer, the smartphone, all of that is happening. Isn't that amazing? It's such a wonderful environment. And we want to see this in St. Lucie. Mr. Strickland, come on. We will come down to your church and get it started down in your church. And the program is going on in the summer, of course, because there are some schools, as you know, Mr. Strickland, who they have, the children are out a whole month earlier. And we saw quite a bit of them from coming over from one of the schools here in St. Philip, that the parents came and they said, well, what are we going to do? Or, the children are not in school. And so they brought them for the little 1 hour. It's only 1 hour by us, So I thought that was wonderful. But that's my excitement. So let me shut up now.
Good night, Marcia. That is part of my excitement also, because we are now preparing for Vacation Bible School at our church, which should be 3 weeks. And we've been having Vacation Bible School for the last almost 40 years. Wow. I mean, it's 40 years. And, but we have not done like reading as it were, but our church is always available for any type of teaching and so forth. So, I would hope that more and more churches will make their buildings available for teaching. You want what I'm saying? Because we are part of society, and therefore we must make our contribution. Okay. So thanks for inviting me for tonight. The topics that you shared with me would be what is happening at C.O. Williams, and the Granley Adams International Airport. Now, let me start with C.O. Williams. I remember many years ago, there was a strike at C.O. Williams. And that strike was over pay. And it was the first strike I think that they had in almost 40 years. I can also say to you that having worked at the unemployment section, you would only see a unemployment claim, whenever there was an unemployment claim, the reason was the equipment was not done, was down. In other words, the truck, whatever piece of equipment that you use, you have to make sure it is properly maintained so that if it is done, then you have to be home. From my experience, Nationals never really had a large number of sickness claims from C.O. Williams. So based on my experience with that company over the years, the company has been very dedicated to its staff, and by extension, the staff are very dedicated to the company. Those workers work through pain and whatever else for the sake of the country, for the sake of the company. Now, we are supposed to be in a building boom. We're supposed to be in a building boom. And the president, well, some person in connection with Small Business and Contractors Association has been lamenting for a while that they're not getting a lot of the work. So that it is honestly shocking to me to hear that C.O. Williams is going to be sending home workers. Okay? Because C.O. Williams is the largest contractor, I believe, Barbadian contractor in Barbados. Okay? C.O. Williams is the largest contractor in St. Lucia. So they have a reputation of doing fantastic work in Barbados. And therefore, if they are sending home workers, it means that the kind of work that they are getting is subcontract work from the larger individuals who have contracts, like the China construction, because there's a lot of work that C.O. Williams might get, but the Chinese are actually the contractors. So C.O. Williams is playing second fiddle now to the foreign contractors, and I think it is a dangerous trend that we are in, for the simple reason that where does other contractors stand, believing that they should continue to invest in their construction business? Because you're talking about bringing equipment, because it's not just about bidding for contract. You must have the requisite construction equipment when you're going to bid for contract, because you have not just to provide figures, but you have to prove that you are capable of taking on this contract. And it can't be a case where you're going to bid for a contract and then you're going to be bringing in the equipment. Because once you bid for a contract, once you win that contract, then you have to start forthwith. And therefore, C.O. Williams, other smaller contractors are going to find it extremely difficult, knowing that with C.O. Williams having the present equipment and can't get some of the work, then it makes no sense of them bringing in equipment. You want to say, Marcia? And there's something that I always remember many years ago, and this is where we have shot ourselves in the foot through the years. I remember C.O. Williams many years ago indicating that if they were guaranteed a certain amount of work in Barbados, because you must be guaranteed a certain amount of work when you're going to be bringing in equipment. And his proposal back then was that he would have a barge to take limestone from Barbados to St. Lucia and to bring volcanic rock from St. Lucia to Barbados, so that volcanic rock would have provided the base for the roads in Barbados. And that's one of the reasons why our roads are in the state that they're in. It's not because of asphalt. It's not because of sometimes poor work, but the fact that the base of our roads in Barbados are predominantly limestone and mud, because we're just changing the surface. And if you look between St. Thomas Church to Sandilands Golf Course, they just had to excavate over 8 inches of dirt and mud to lay a new marl foundation before they resurface. Because if you look at the a lot of the work that was done since this government changed, a lot of the roads are in a state because they're just scraping the top, putting asphalt on. I don't even think the asphalt is of the best quality. So going back to the whole issue of C.O. Williams being a private contractor, it means that they are some of the ones who ensure that national insurance is paid on behalf of their workers. And these other contractors and builders in Barbados who are non-nationals, they are not paying national insurance. So Marcia, I am very concerned with the future for the construction industry. You want what I'm saying? Because C.O. Williams is not only doing roads, they're building buildings and so forth. There's a lot of work. So it is unfortunate. I am not certain, has any reason been given, Marcia, why C.O. Williams is laying off workers? Is any reason?
Up until now, I have not heard, because I was, I asked the question if we're in a construction boom, and they are saying that, they need skilled workers. That is what was said, but by another contractor a couple months ago. We're all trying to understand what the reason is. So we are all speculating here. Nobody knows.
But okay, in relation to skilled workers, and that's why I have a concern there also.
Hold a minute. I'm sorry, they cited declining competitiveness and sustained operational challenges.
And that's exactly what he said just now. Because they cannot compete. Yeah, but that is what I'm saying. Because okay, part of your bidding process would include the overheads of national insurance. Okay, full stop. Now, if C.O. Williams is bidding for contract and their labor cost is going to be, say, $50,000, they're looking at 13% on top of that for national insurance. Okay. Now, there's another contractor who is bidding for that same contract and they do not pay national insurance for their workers. They start to at a tremendous advantage. Now, I am not convinced that when the Chinese and others bring in, I am not convinced that when the Chinese bring in their equipment, that they pay duty on them. Okay, and therefore, when C.O. Williams bring in equipment, they have to pay duty, they have to pay excise tax, they have to pay VAT, they have to pay the whole lot. So therefore, the cost of that equipment that is going to be used and they're bidding with that as part of the cost, it's a tremendous disadvantage to them. You want what I'm saying? Okay, and I've seen this now for many years.
So, Mr. Strickland, just a question here. So, are you saying that this migration issue or process is also affecting the companies? I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Could be one of the reasons, or could be affecting Carl Williams, his business?
Definitely, Marcia, definitely. Okay, we have situations, and let me just go to the hotel sector, whereby the hotels will advertise for a chef, okay, and they will say that they cannot find the requisite chef in Barbados. I'm saying to you that if the argument can be that there's certain technical workers that are needed, okay, and therefore that foreign company is going to say that they're not available in Barbados. No, that person works for C.O. Williams, okay? The person works for C.O. Williams. The person would have to leave C.O. Williams now to come and work for that company. So I'm saying to you, the question is there really a shortage of skilled workers in Barbados, okay, that are unemployed? You want to say they are persons that are working for a particular company which is underemployed, because the company, C.O. Williams, cannot get the contract. So therefore, they have workers that are underemployed. You want what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. And so there's those smart moves that are being made. And this something has been going on now for many years. Now, I believe it has mushroomed into this situation where it is now affecting a company such as C.O. Williams. You want what I'm saying? But this has been going on now for years in all sectors, whereby there's no safety net, there's no guarantee for Barbadian workers, because they can easily advertise, go to the immigration department seeking a work permit, and it's granted. You want some, and it's granted the work permit. Sometimes the persons are in the island already. You want, they're already in the island, okay? Because you're evidence to bring somebody. The person's already in the island, okay? And therefore there's a Barbadian that we have trained and is working outside of, has to go and work outside of Barbados. Because that's the next thing. You have workers who have to go and work outside of Barbados to play their trade. When in Barbados, they can't get the job because unfortunately it's being given to non-nationals. This is what has been happening in Barbados, and it's being further exploited now with and in the midst of a building boom. That's the worst part. Okay.
Wow.
Now let me go to GAIA.
Chinese running Carl Williams out of business. I was trying to carefully, but this person wrote something. I'm just reading what somebody wrote.
But Marcia, it is the truth. It is the truth. You want what I'm saying? Not necessarily only the Chinese, but mainly the Chinese. Mainly the Chinese, because a lot of the road works in Barbados are being done by Chinese. Okay?
Yes.
From Hope Road by me all the way down, which is where the new polytechnic is. You go down St. Andrew all the way up to going up to Cattle Wash. I mean, wherever you go, the Chinese are doing the road construction. There was a time when all of that work would have been done by C.O. Williams. It would have been done by C.O. Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
to
agree with you, I was speaking with some young men, and I wouldn't say what kind of work they do. I don't want them to get in any problems, but they said to me that they called to tell me, guess what? We got some work, and they were very happy about it. And they said they were employed by the Chinese. So you are so right. And it's the work is being done in St. Andrew. So you're right.
And those workers were trained by C.O. And those workers were trained by C.O. Williams. The interesting situation is that JADA, yes, the Chinese are working more with JADA than C.O. Williams. So JADA now, because JADA actually transport Chinese workers on their vehicles. You can see JADA trucks and so forth transporting Chinese workers. Okay, so JADA and JADA and C.O. Williams are the biggest competitors, I think, in roadworks in Barbados. So that's why it's biting into to C.O. Williams power base. You want to say, because JADA now is getting most of the contracts, the subcontract work from the Chinese. Okay.
Wow. This is amazing, because now if that's happening to if that is happening to C.O. Williams, can you imagine Mr. Cherry and who is a Black Barbadian, Jose, what is happening to him? And this actually is what he has been crying out about, that he wasn't getting any contracts, remember? And so can you imagine he was totally out of business?
And we have graphics construction here in St. Lucie. We have graphics construction, and I can say to anyone that there are 2 roads in St. Lucie that were done by graphics construction over almost 50 years ago, and those roads are still standing up very, very good. You want to say? I'm just saying that it's unfortunate that our contractors now are playing one another for the scraps that are falling from the Chinese, especially the Chinese. Okay, they're all battling, and mostly they're undercutting each other just to survive. Okay, so it's a dangerous situation that we are in right now, and I don't know what may happen, but I don't see it changing, because if C.O. has come out and they said C.O. Williams has never been in the practice of laying off staff. I can tell you the history of C.O. Williams because I know that company very well. You want to say monitoring from the National Insurance Department. You will see unemployment claims around Christmas when they close down for the Christmas holiday. So it's like 2 weeks vacation, 2 weeks unemployment. But other than that, workers always work. You want to say I'm saying, and therefore it's a shock to me. You want to say I'm saying, okay? Now to the other issue of Granny Adams, quickly, because the half an hour will go very quickly.
Let me just
this is a government.
I owe you 5 minutes, and I'm going to give you back. But let
Okay,
me just give a
no
shout out to
problem.
Anderson
No,
Cherry. Anderson Cherry, good night. We are here calling your name. You didn't ask me to call your name, but people are in the chat saying, what happened to you? If this is happening to COW, what happened to you? And I know you've been through a lot, sir. Welcome to the chat. Go ahead, continue, sir.
okay. Thank you. With the Granley Adams International Airport, that's a board, and therefore boards are managed by politicians. Okay, basically politicians because they appoint board members and so forth. It is interesting that there was a company that would have. I'm not certain whether they have taken over GAA, but we are shortly out of elections. We just came out of elections, and therefore, I've never known that the airport will lay off staff and whatever else, because whether you are in the tour season or out of the tour season, the same requisite type of staff is necessary. Whether there are going to be 40 planes coming in or one plane coming in, you must have a full complement of staff to service, because we have to meet international standards. So for any moment that they're not the requisite staff on duty, then we could lose our rating. And therefore, if GAA is going to be laying off staff, the question is: were these staff were they the complement padded for the sake of elections, or these staff know for whatever reason they're no longer needed? And the fact that you have a private enterprise, which is CO Williams, and now a government entity, this may be the beginning of other government agencies which may be shelving staff, because the IMF, yes, the IMF has a strong control, even though we are not supposed to be in a standby agreement based on my knowledge, yet there are certain benchmarks that Barbados must maintain. And therefore, one of the areas that the IMF has focused on through the years has been transfers from central government to the SOAs, state, and therefore the same with Transport Board, where they're trying to divest themselves from Transport Board and whatever else. So this could be the beginning of other government agencies shelving the financial responsibility by laying off individuals. You want to say I'm saying? So
let me just say with the GIA, they are calling for, they're saying it is an insult to workers because they only have gotten a 1.5% increase for 2025 to 2026. And they're saying it's an insult to the workers. Our work bills GIA, we deserve respect. And yes, so that's what they're respect for workers and so on. Yeah.
Okay, in relation, you see, this is where unions come in, because I'm convinced that the workers at GIA are members of a union. I hardly doubt they're members, but I can't speak to which is the bargaining agent for the workers, whether the NUPW, the Barbados Workers Union, or the Unity Labour Party, Unity Workers Union. Okay,
I think Unity has a small number, I was told.
Right. Okay. And I suspect they have a small number, because remember, I think it was last year when they called out some of their workers, didn't get the support that was necessary from the others. And therefore, I think this is where unfortunate, and the kind of money that is voted for statutory corporations, very often they get better salaries than those in central government. I can tell you that. Whether it was at CBC, National Insurance, now, once with the statutory corporations, they get better offers than central government. And therefore, if they're not getting reasonable percentages, it means that the union, whichever is the recognized, I want to say the recognized bargaining agent, because we know that there at Portville, the majority of the workers are members of the Unity Workers Union, but yet the Barbados Workers Union is the bargaining agent for the workers, as it were. So it's gonna be interesting who is the bargaining agent and why they accepted that kind of percentage. Okay.
Well, what I'm hearing is that they're still in negotiations. But we know I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't know the percentage that of workers that Unity Workers Union would have versus the other union, but it is. But someone just sent me an article here, which is very interesting. It's along the same line that you've been taking, and I'm waiting for Dave to put it up. But it says that the Granville Adams International Airport announced record arrivals in tourism at the ceremony last Saturday night. So if they're getting record arrivals, if somebody has to do all of the administration and the management and all of that, they come through the airport. And this is why the workers, I think, they're asking why it is that we're not getting more, a greater increase in pay. This is it here. It says the Minister of Tourism. Dave, okay, it's gone. But Dave, it's gone.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Marcia, because I heard part of that article tonight on CBC. But
Yes.
remember, earlier this year, in the midst of the tour season, because I was privileged to visit the tower, and the same thing that the air traffic control workers indicated, that because of the volume of aircrafts at the Granville International Airport, now they have to be looking for additional space to accommodate the arrivals, because once our home port cruises increase, it means that the transfers between the airport and the seaport takes up more space at the tarmac, because those planes are going to be there for a longer period of time, because they have to wait for the transfers coming from the seaport to the airport to the seaport. And therefore, based on what you would have just shared, it means that the revenue of GAIA has to be up. It has to be up. So both the air traffic controllers, who are very short staffed, and the minister confirmed earlier this year that the use of the airport is they're looking for more space for aircrafts. Okay, so areas that you never found aircrafts, you have private jets now are parking in those areas, leaving space now for some bigger aircrafts. So it's really unfortunate that the whoever's the bargaining agent is not arguing. Well, I would like to believe that they should be arguing for a lot more than what is being offered right now. If they have indicated how much they're asking for. Okay.
Yeah, and it is really really sad. I don't know how it's going to end up, but those workers, I'm hearing from some of them, and they seem to be very serious. We have to see how serious they are, and how far the union is going to go with this issue. Are they going to continue negotiating? What's going to happen?
Because you see, Marcia, and a whole lot comes back to national insurance, because for everything there is that contribution or loss of contribution to the national insurance fund. And the national insurance fund, I wouldn't say it's in trouble, but certain decisions that have been made in the past and are still being made, it means that there's not as much elbow room within the national insurance department in order to give persons the confidence that the fund is sustainable. I have no doubt it is sustainable. But I'm saying to you that and then because even right now, as I said, National is fighting hard to get self-employed persons to pay contributions, and I don't think that is reaping the success that they are reaping. And if I have to say this every night on this show, self-employed persons really need to pay contributions because many of them are suffering. I mean, and suffering because they still believe it is an automatic right as a Barbadian to receive a pension, and many of them are waiting way too late. You want them to have this. Only this morning, I had someone who came to my home because he has to be about 50 or so. He is now seeking to see how many contributions he can get before he reaches pensionable age. So I'm saying that it's a conversation that National Insurance really needs well, they have invested a whole lot in personnel, but I don't know how many locations that they're visiting at the times when persons are available to access the information necessary to make sure that they're paying contributions. Because as I said, a pension is what is all that individuals will have for their future. Were there any other questions that came through that you wanted me to deal with tonight?
Tonight they were all Tonight they were all into the CO Williams and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, they were all into that. And they were asking about other companies. But thank you once again. If there's any parting words just for tonight, everything is, I know it's nice and sharp. We're all into BIMPay and so many other things that are coming up.
And I would want that. No, well, for me, as I said, it's always a good opportunity to share, not only share, but to challenge individuals to really examine the landscape that does exist in Barbados, because I think too many Barbadians are living in an imaginary Barbadian. They have no idea of really what is happening around them, and therefore I really appreciate the opportunity, but more so I really want to applaud all of those who tune in and share with other individuals, because even now as I speak, some individuals have never heard about the Marcia Weekes Show. So that when I, up to Tuesday, I was doing a lecture at a very large company, and when I shared, some people looked at me like, what is the Marcia Weekes Show? So I'm saying that for us who see the value of it, I would want them to, because there's still those who see it as a political show, but help them to understand it's an educational show, and therefore the persons like myself and others who come to share valuable information so they can make some very informed decisions. So that's my parting words for you tonight. I will continue to follow the show tonight. Okay, and thank you very much.
Thank you, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And I always learn something new when you join. Thank you. I'm gonna research that thing about the Chinese. Thank you. I'll chat with you some more about it off air. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye bye. Yes, Mr. Strickland, it's always a pleasure. Full of knowledge. He is a professional in his own right. He was at the NIS and had a very, very, very top job there. I can't remember the exact title, but it was a very top job that he had there. So we're very, very honored to have him on the program. I would like for you guys to quickly just share, if you have not shared, because I think what we're going to be talking about tonight, I think just as a segment before, which is educational, this is educational as well. And we want to be able to move from education into agitation, into motivation, into mobilization. And some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight on the show, I am hoping that it will move from getting in your head, and then it moves in your heart, and then you begin to agitate. Okay, you begin to agitate. So tonight I want to I want to take the next, I would say, 20 minutes to begin Neil Harper's assessment of BIMPay. All right, that's what we're looking at, and looking at what are some of his concerns and his recommendations of BIMPay. Okay, and so I'm asking you kindly to pause for a minute and share. In doing that, you're being kind. You're being kind to your neighbor, because what we are sharing, I am telling you, you're not going to hear this on regular media. You're not going to hear this from the government at all. You're not going to hear from the government. All right. And I know they're watching the show tonight, and that's okay, because hopefully they will be able to take some of these recommendations from Neil Harper and hear some of the concerns. All right. So did you share yet? I was just giving you a couple moments to share. All right. Just giving you a couple moments to share. Now, tonight on BIMPay, we don't want to have a political discussion. All right. I know for some of you, even some of you who are regulars on the show, it's hard for you to discuss this and it not be political. We don't want it to be partisan. We want this to be a public interest discussion. Yes? Can you just take off the hat, the political hat, please? And let us, because this is important. Right? Now, BIMPay has now launched, and with any new technology, there will be excitement. In fact, there was a pajama party that was, it was launched with a pajama party. And some question whether, something as serious as this had to be launched with a party, and worse as a pajama party. But that's to their liking. That's what the governor, the central bank, the governor and the staff, that's what they worked hard, and that's how they chose to celebrate the launch of BIMPay, right? And with any new technology, we know there'll be questions because it's something new. We know that there will be concerns too. Agree? Because you know how we are. We're going to ask questions. We're going to have concerns, right? And we know there will be opportunities. Everything about BIMPay is not, it's not that everything about BIMPay is horrible. There'll be opportunities, right? Now, the question before us tonight, I want us to look at this particular question first, before we go into the meat of what Neil Harper is concerned about. Okay? Can ordinary Barbadians use it? We hear what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister says that ordinary Barbadians can use it. Can ordinary Barbadians trust it? So there is something, this is based on just the research that we've done. I've come up with something called the pensioners test, the pensioner test. And I wonder if Dave could put up the little graphic with Miss Mary. So I'm calling her Miss Mary. So this is Miss Mary. All right. So Miss Mary is who is on the screen. We gave her this name, Miss Mary. All right. So meet Miss Mary. She looks so cute. And anybody want to guess her age? Miss Mary is 72 years old. You see how she looks young and pretty? And she has a smartphone. And guess what? She probably came to Elevate and learned how to use her smartphone. Anyway, she has registered for BIMPay. All right. After learning to use her smartphone through Elevate, she has registered for BIMPay, but she does not have a bank account. Now, that is the point that I want you to hold right there, Barbadians. She doesn't have a bank account. She does not have a debit card. And Miss Mary does not have a credit card. But she has 100 cash in her purse. Now, according to BIMPay documentation, Miss Mary can have a wallet. Okay? She can receive money. She can send money and she can store money. Fine. You with me so far? No argument there, right? Everybody's with me. But here's my question. How does Miss Mary get her 100 cash that is in her physical wallet, in her purse, in her little handbag? How does she get that into BIMPay wallet? I'm not questioning whether she has a BIMPay wallet. I know she has one because she registered. And once you register, you're going to have a BIMPay wallet. It's going to happen. I'm not questioning whether she can receive money in the wallet, you know. How does she get the cash from her little handbag, a little brown handbag that she has? Well, I guess black handbag would go better with the blue outfit. She has a little black handbag, a little purse, and she have $100 tied up in her hanky. All right. How does she get that into the BIMPay wallet? Where does she go? Who helps her? How long does it take? What does it cost to get the $100 that she have tied up? You know how old people used to tie up the money in the, whoops, I can't say old people, the seniors used to tie up the money in the hanky, in the little handbag. How long does it take, Miss Mary, to get that little money, $100 cash, into the BIM wallet so she can be digital as the Prime Minister and the governor and everybody is saying? What does it cost her to do that? Because if Miss Mary has to find an intermediary, if Miss Mary has to find an agent, a merchant, or another institution, then there is still an extra step for Miss Mary, the 72-year-old pensioner. Now, this is not a criticism. It is, I'm asking a simple, in my estimation, a practical question. And I believe that practical questions matter. Because the more accessible this is, and it's the more that it will be adopted in society. Following? I don't even have the time to go through the comments right now. What can we learn from Kenya? Most of you know that Dave and I, we went to Kenya. And years ago, we also went to Ghana. And some people are comparing BIMPay to M-Pesa. M-Pesa in Kenya. But M-Pesa was not just an app. Okay, I'm getting a noise coming through. Okay, let's turn this up. Dave, there's a noise coming through. Okay. M-Pesa was not just an app. Okay, M-Pesa, it was an ecosystem. The local shop became the bank branch. Okay, just listen. The people could walk into a nearby location. They hand over the cash and have electronic money loaded on their phones. They could also withdraw cash. M-Pesa solved a specific problem. I have cash, but I don't have a bank account. That is why it transformed millions of lives. And I hope the government is listening. Because the big question is, what is the problem that BIMPay is trying to solve? M-Pesa in Kenya solved the problem where people did not have bank accounts. They have cash, but they don't have a bank account. Here comes M-Pesa, and they came up with this entrepreneurial idea that was born, it's a black man that founded it and was taken over by white people, in the end, right? Now, we can also learn from Ghana. Let me move quickly. I don't have much time. because I want to move a little deeper into what the questions then that and concerns and recommendations from Neil Harper. What can we learn from Ghana? The same thing happened with mobile money known as Momo in Ghana. Again, the secret was not an app. BIMPay is an app. And I'm asking the question again, what is the problem that BIMPay is solving? Because remember, we had instant payments in Barbados. We also had first pay through First Caribbean, although that wasn't widespread. So what is it? And majority of people in Barbados have bank accounts. So we're trying to figure out what is it what's the problem that BIMPay is solving? The secret to Momo working in Ghana as M-Pesa working in Kenya was the network. And I want you to listen to me carefully. Cash could move into and out of the digital system that they created very easily, right? The question for Barbados, what is our equivalent? How many cash-in locations exist so that Miss Mary can take that money out of her kerchief and get it into her BIM wallet? How many BIM cash-in location exists? How many cash-out locations exist? Can Miss Mary easily move between cash and digital money? Because financial inclusion, if we're talking about financial inclusion, which is what the Prime Minister is saying, and the central bank governor, and the whole ethos of BIMPay, financial inclusion requires both, right? Cash in, cash out. All right, and we're going to talk about the Caribbean, and because you have in Bahamas you have the sand dollar, in Jamaica you have Jamdex, Eastern Caribbean have the D-Cash, and so we want to look at that a little bit more, because in these places the issue that they've had has always been adoption. How is it adopted in society? Why? Because people must believe, Barbadians, that the new system is easier and it is safer and more useful than what they already have. So that's going to be the big challenge for BIMPay, is do people believe that the new system is easier? Is it easier for Miss Mary? Is it safer? Is it more useful than what they already have? So you can create the technology, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be adopted widely. You see, trust is what is going to create adoption. You're talking about people's money. So when they can believe that they can trust, there is trust in the system, then you will get the adoption. And that is what brings us to Neil Harper. I hope you're following me. That is what is bringing us right? That is what is bringing us to Neil Harper, trust. Did you share yet, guys? Did you share in your groups, in your church groups? Cyber security analyst Neil Harper, and he is one of the best. He's ours. We would say he's one of the best in the world. His name is listed all over. Very well respected. Neil Harper, he has been examining BIMPay. And even before they launched it, he made proposals. He made several recommendations. And his recommendations, viewers, was about strengthening. How do you strengthen public confidence so that it can be adopted? Now, I must say, clearly that Neil Harper is not opposed to BIMPay. Okay? I have to represent him well. He's not opposed to BIMPay. His recommendations are designed to improve BIMPay, to strengthen BIMPay, to protect BIMPay, and most importantly, what's the topic of our show tonight? What's the topic of our show? Who will protect BAJANS? Most importantly, Mr. Harper is concerned about Barbadians being protected. According to Mr. Harper, public trust must be treated as a national priority, because no matter how good the technology may be, people must trust it before they use it. Now, he's raised some concerns following the launch. So we're going to look at some of the concerns that he's raised since it was launched yesterday, and then I'm going to go back now to the proposal he's made. So just bear with me a little. Let's go through the concerns he's raised. What are some of the challenges, experiences by some of the users following the launch? Difficulties receiving registration codes. Difficulties linking accounts. Some accounts were lockouts. There was device compatibility issues. Password requirement confusion. Questions regarding fraud detection capabilities. Now, we know that these things can happen during, any kind of technological launch, anytime you're launching a technology, you could have these things. But what they do is that these issues, they reinforce an important point, that the trust is fragile and that trust must be earned, and trust can be lost. Trust can be earned and trust can be lost. So proposal 1 by Neil Harper. And as I said, he's given us permission to speak about this on the show. The first recommendation by Neil Harper is the creation of a permanent BIMPay forum. Listen and tell me if you agree with him. And what he's saying is that this permanent BIMPay forum would be a place where citizens, businesses, cybersecurity professionals, financial institutions, regulators, and consumer advocates, that they can participate in ongoing governance of the platform. You hear the word ongoing governance. And what he is talking about is everybody coming together, the citizens, the businesses, cybersecurity professionals, financial institutions, regulators, consumer advocates, that they can participate in the governance of the platform of BIMPay. This is BIMPay Forum. This is what Neil Harper is proposing. Do you agree with this proposal from this cybersecurity expert who is not against technology? His concern is simple. Neil's concern is really simple. Neil is saying that a national payment system should not operate in an authoritarian vacuum. Mr. Harper says that the people must have a seat at the table. Do you agree with Neil Harper? Mr. Harper is asking for proposal number 2, operational independence. If you're taking notes, we're at number 2, operational independence. I think this might be Mr. Harper's strongest recommendation, really, as I think about it. He's recommended that BIMPay should eventually become an independent public-private partnership. His reasoning is really straightforward when you look at it. He's saying that the central bank is a regulator. It is not a software company. It is not a technology company. It is not a product development company. The central bank is a regulator. So running a national digital platform requires specialized skills. It requires the right talent. Do you agree? Do you agree with Mr. Harper? It requires cybersecurity expertise. It requires software engineering expertise. It requires continuous innovation. So Mr. Harper is arguing that an independent structure, okay, may be better equipped to attract the talent, the scale operations, and to ensure continuity regardless of which government is in office. And I think that this is, I personally think, it's my opinion, that this is a governance discussion that we need to have. Do you agree with him that there should be operational independence? His proposal number 3, I have 4 minutes. His proposal number 3 is privacy. Mr. Harper is proposing, probably, now this is probably the most sensitive issue of all, privacy. Financial information reveals a great deal about our lives. We can all agree on that. Where we shop, who we support, okay? Where we donate our money, what services we use, what organizations we belong to. Financial information will tell what protections exists. Who has access? Who can see what? Who can see? Who can request information? Now, these are reasonable questions. What are the protections that exist is what he's asking. What protections exist? Who has access? We want the government to answer this. And this is what Neil Harper is asking. What protections exist? Who has access? Who can see what? Who can request information? Prime Minister Motley? Who can request information? Under what circumstances? These are reasonable questions, and Barbadians deserve, I believe, clear answers. And that's what Mr. Harper is asking. The proposal 4, alternative credit scoring. One of Neil Harper's more innovative ideas is that he's proposing that transaction histories could potentially help provide who lack traditional credit histories. And the Prime Minister spoke about that last night, that it could help small entrepreneurs. It's true. Young people, informal workers, previously unbanked citizens, they would be able to gain access to loans and financial opportunities. It is an idea that idea is designed to increase inclusion, which is a good idea, isn't it? When I heard the Prime Minister mention that, that's a good idea. However, what Neil Harper is saying, this is where the public protections become critically important. And listen, and tell me if you agree with Mr. Neil Harper. Financial inclusion must never become financial surveillance. If transaction histories are ever used in this way, Barbadians must know, Mr. Harper is saying, who owns the data. So it's all good and well that now, small entrepreneurs, young people, informal workers, previously unbanked citizens can gain access to loans and financial opportunities. But we got to balance that out now. Financial inclusion should never become financial surveillance. And this is why I believe Mr. Harper is proposing what he proposed at the proposal number 1 and 2. Okay? And he's saying, who will own the data? Central bank governor, Prime Minister Motley, Who is going to own the data? Who controls the data? Who can access the data? Who decides how people are scored? Can mistakes be corrected? Can decisions be appealed? And perhaps the most importantly, he's asking, can government agencies influence these decisions? Citizens, he's saying, must have confidence that no digital payment system can ever be used to reward political supporters, push political opponents, restrict lawful activities, create hidden citizen rankings, and monitor lawful behavior. Any future system must be voluntary, transparent, independently supervised, and protected by law. That's what Mr. Harper is proposing. He's saying convenience must never come at the expense of the F word, freedom. And I have two more, and I'm going to ask Jason to give me 5 minutes. Jason, you're going to get it all back. Proposal number 5, cybersecurity. Mr. Harper also argues, he's arguing that the BIMPay should be treated as critical national infrastructure. What does that mean? He's asking, what happens if the system go down? If the system goes down, what happens? What happens if there's a cyber attack? What happens if people cannot access their money? What protections exist? Can we hear about those, please? What compensation exists? These are not technical questions he's asking. These are public confidence questions. Remember, he talked about public trust? And the last proposal, cash out. Finally, Mr. Harper argues that the users should never become trapped inside a digital ecosystem. People should be able to convert digital money back into physical cash easily. That means cash out options matter. The ability to move between cash and digital money matters. You see, and that brings us back to Miss Mary, how we started. Because in the end, BIMPay's success will not be measured by the technology, you know. It will be measured by whether ordinary Barbadians can use it, trust it, access it, understand it, and benefit from it. So the question is not whether BIMPay can move money. The question is whether BIMPay can earn and maintain the trust of the Barbadian people. The technology will create the possibilities, right? But you see, trust, that is what creates the adoption of it into regular life. And I hope I have done a proper service. Niall, I'm saying Niall Harper. It's Niall Harper. Okay. I was saying his name wrong the whole night. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So let's move right now into Jason Phillips. He's going to come and he's going to continue this discussion on BIMPay. Welcome, Mr. Phillips.
Good evening, Mrs. Marcia Weekes, and good evening to the good people of St. Peter and BAJANS Extension, Barbados. You know you must say those words.
I know that. And they were on very early, let me know that they are a big fan. I'm Jason Phillips' big fan. So go right ahead.
Right. So tonight we're going to have thank you, ma'am. Tonight we're going to have a 2-segment program here. For one half of my scheduled time, I'm going to be looking at election reform, and tonight is the last night for election reform. And then we're going to do the second half. We're going to continue what you were talking about, BIMPay. and we're going to try to have it in a more discussion manner. Right. So election reform, and I was considering a number of points on the election reform because, you know, immediately after the election, the Prime Minister was very interested in securing legislation to prevent her parliamentarians from crossing the floor, right? Anti-deflection law. And I am saying that if you are so keen on stifling the conscience of parliamentarians and indeed the independence of Parliament, then also consider this measure as well. A government should govern with a clear democratic mandate. And therefore, if the voter turnout is 40% or less, Parliament should dissolve Parliament again, and a new election called within 3 months from the date of the election that was held. No administration should be permitted to govern indefinitely with a minority or a majority, with a minority of the votes or a majority of the electorate not voting or participating in choosing that government. And in some quarters, it is said that only 0.1% of the electorate of Barbados voted. Some other people said, or some research said, it is between 30 and 40%. In other words, we have a government here now in Barbados where between 60% and 70% of the people who could vote did not vote. And that is a crying shame. This government does not have a mandate. So if you have only 30.1% of the voting population voting, it is said that only about 18%, a subset of that group, voted for the Barbados Labour Party. So this government is really a minority government. And that can cause issues, and you will see as we continue. It must be people first and party second. Political parties exist to serve the people, not the other way around. The government must be judged on whether their policies improve the lives of ordinary Barbadians. Too often, political parties are concerned with party branding, political messaging, and partisan interests, and it appears to take precedent over addressing real concerns of ordinary Barbadians. I'm talking about healthcare, housing, the road infrastructure, water quality, cost of living, employment, and so on. This party, the Barbados Labour Party-led government, seems to be more interested in the image of the party and not the people. I said it just now, I'm going to repeat myself. It is people first and party second. And I traverse this nation all across Barbados, and people are complaining. People are sorry as France that they voted for this Barbados Labour Party. And it is about optics for them. They had 3 elections and they have not even come yet. So it seems as though it's always about an election, winning an election, and not about service to people. And Barbadians are beginning to wake up. Barbadians are fed up with this Barbados-led Labour Party, this Barbados Labour Party-led government. And we are only a few months into a new government. Another issue that we must consider when it comes to election reform is campaign financing. The public deserves to know Who is financing political parties and campaigns in Barbados? I can repeat that. Barbadians want to know who put in money behind these parties. Greater transparency is needed regarding political donations, government contracts, and potential conflict of interest. Citizens must have confidence in the public policy, and they must know exactly who is getting what, under what circumstances they are getting these things. A government must not operate in the interest of donors. They must always operate in the interest of people. We already know that a housing project in the north went awry. And it is said that $60 million is unaccounted for. Again, in last week's paper, we get the same housing project, or again, another issue with housing again. What is going on with the interests of the people? Government must show a respect for opposition and democratic balance. That is another issue as it relates to reform as well. A healthy democracy requires a strong opposition. Constant attacks on political opponents weaken democratic institutions and distract from governance. Barbados currently faces concerns about concentration of political power. Right now, our prime minister has too much power. Our prime minister appears to be an elected dictator. And everything must pass through her. Her ministers seem not to be functioning on their own. They don't seem to have autonomy in their ministries. And when we have a government where the prime minister appears to be a de facto dictator, then there's a real issue, because it should not be run like that. Remember, they're all parliamentarians, they're all equal. No one is superior to the other. All that happened is that they chose from among themselves someone who will lead them, who will be the political leader, who will become the prime minister. But you have a cabinet, and the cabinet must make decisions, not a one person. Right? So Barbados is really, really going underwater as it relates to the power of the prime minister. Electoral access and voter participation is another critical area that needs reforming in Barbados. No Barbadian should be denied the opportunity to vote because of administrative delays, long lines, insufficient polling stations, or difficulties obtaining identification documents. An independent review should be conducted after every election to determine how many eligible voters were unable to vote, the reasons they were unable to vote, and what reforms are necessary to improve access and participation. And I will go further. Democracy works best when every eligible citizen has a fair and reasonable opportunity to cast his or her ballot. The voters list must be ready too. When the voters list is not ready, it undermines the integrity of the election itself. And I am very, very serious about this. Last week, we spoke about the head of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, who was given a seat in the upper house, the Senate, immediately after the election. And he was not made an independent senator. He was not made a senator from the opposition party or any opposition party. He was given a seat in the upper house from the winning party, which became the ruling party, the government of Barbados. It does not look good. Even if it was done in good faith, it looks bad. And I requested, I insisted that he should step down from his position as a government senator. I said, if you have a match, a cricket match or a football match, and the referee or the umpire, immediately after the game concluded, that umpire or referee went and hang out with the winning party, the winning team, drinking beers, what have you. I'm not saying that the referee or the umpire was dishonest, but it looks dishonest. It looks bad. As though he favored that team, that cricket team or that football team. And likewise, if we have a head of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, and we know that the Electoral and Boundaries Commission is that organ, that agency that manages and supervises the election. And then we had a lot of crap going on. The voters list was not ready. And they were talking about they're going to strike off about 8,025 people off the list. Then during the election process itself, many Barbadians could not vote. And I'm not going to call the name of my sources, but it was said that island-wide 29,673 people did not vote because their names were not on the voters list. In St. Peter, it is alleged that over 400 people could not cast a vote because their name was not on the voters list. It's a crying shame. And then you have to remember that the number of persons that were eligible to vote was astronomical, and one political scientist questioned that number. Those of you who have an excellent memory, I'm sure you remember that he would say, we have all these people in Barbados that can vote. So people are now beginning to question the integrity of the election. And we know that when, I can repeat myself, when the list is not ready, the integrity of the election is questioned. Look, election reform is not about helping one political party or hurting another party. It is about strengthening democracy, increasing public confidence in government, improving accountability, and ensuring that Parliament remains responsive to the people it was elected to serve. Barbados deserves a system that puts citizens first and protects the integrity of our democratic system. Right now, and I'm going to end by saying this, you cannot get 3 consecutive elections where you're going to win 30 love. If it's just statistically impossible, something does not feel quite right. And we must go back to the list, the voters list. That coupled with people trying to suppress voting in Barbados. I could not really get enough time to go into the counting because I had some agents had difficulty at the counting stations in St. Peter. We had a lot of issues with the counting and recounting. And then you're getting the results coming in so late, in this late timing. I have a real issue with this pencil paper voting. It can cause a lot of issues, a lot of errors can be made in this pencil paper voting. But we have to move on to the BIMPay. So Marcia, when you're ready, I'm going to move on to the
No, you can close off. Just close off the electoral reform. I just, we just put that so people know we're going to that next. But you just close off. Take a couple minutes and close off. It's going fantastic.
I just wrap up just now. They could ask me a question if they want to, right? But we are concerned with a number of things. We need to get past this old-fashioned thing. You're putting ballot boxes on a bus and drive around the whole country, and then you get into the polling stations late, and then the counting and recounting. All kind of rubbish. Imagine if that was going on in Trinidad or Jamaica or even America. You would never finish the thing. And it is very suspicious. Very, very, very suspicious. And people are questioning this last election, every single day. I'm not saying that it is, but it seemed very fraudulent. I don't know. But people are comfortable with the results and the method. We have to get past this pencil paper voting, driving around with these ballot boxes, and the counting. That was good when Barbados became an independent country.
Okay, I think you're stuck. I think he's stuck. Is he stuck or I'm stuck? You were stuck. You're back. You're back. Okay, he's stuck. I'm going to advise Jason because we want to hear him again. So in this other segment, and while we're waiting on Jason to become unfrozen, to defrost, I'm going to ask you to get ready at 9:15 to call in and to be part of the discussion. We are leading a discussion on BIMPay. We are not experts on it. If you ask a question and it's within the document that I have from Mr. Harper, I can answer you from there. I can take your questions that I can answer, and I will hope that our source will be able to get it back to him.
Ms. Weekes, are we back there?
Answer. Yeah, we're back. I think, Jason, go out and come back in, and let's see if that will help. I'm gonna ask Jason to go out and come back in. We want to hear him. He's gonna be on for much longer as we go through the call in. Where we're doing the call in segment, and we want to discuss BIMPay. I was reading some of your comments while he's getting organized. I don't know if Dave can give him a call and to see if he can help him. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're just trying to see. Let me see if he's back. No, he's not back. No, he's not back. Let me just let me see if we can get a message to Jason. Jason, if you're hearing me, put up one finger if you hear me. Jason, leave the studio and return. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open the line up for any calls. There was one issue that I wanted to bring to your attention is about a plane that left St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that plane did not end up in its did not arrive at its destination, and that's more than 24 hours now. It left on Friday evening. Okay, so that there's an aircraft has been missing. Reports from St. Vincent and Grenadines and Trinidad and Tobago indicate that a private aircraft that was traveling from St. Vincent to Tobago has been reported missing after failing to arrive at its destination. The aircraft is being identified in early reports as Beechcraft Baron twin-engine aircraft. It's a Beechcraft Baron twin-engine aircraft. At this time, authorities have not released comprehensive official details regarding the number of persons on board, the aircraft's last known position, or the circumstances surrounding its disappearance. Search and monitoring efforts are reportedly underway, and we want to emphasize that many of the details remain unconfirmed. Therefore, we will not speculate on the cause of the incident or the fate of those on board. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families. And I ask you to pause if you have a moment before you go to bed tonight, and pray for the families, friends, and any loved ones who may be affected as authorities work to gather more information. Here on the Marcia Weekes Show, I've already reached out to Trinidad, and we're continuing to monitor this developing story to provide any updates as verified information becomes available. I can imagine that families across both St. Vincent, Tobago, Trinidad, and the wider Caribbean may be waiting for answers, and we pray for good news, for the safety of those involved, and for strength for everyone affected by this unfolding situation. Yes. All right. I think he's back in. Jason. Yes.
Don't get too excited because my computer seems not to be taking the Wi-Fi. I'm on my phone, but I don't have my charger. I only have like 15%. So let's see how far.
Let's see how far that will go. Okay. All right. No problem. These things happen.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So Jason, let's go right. Excellent session on election reform, and I know you're not going to be doing, but it's something that we need to go back to every now and again, because we really need to be pushing for it. We'll talk off air, but it's something that we must not let go of, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know, we might pause it, but we must not let go of it. Do you agree?
I agree. Especially close to election time.
Yes, but we got to do it even before. Like what you're doing now is commendable. We've got to be pushing for electoral reform now, so that at election time there will be, you know, we can probably, they might just listen. So, you know, we have to continue to push, and I think you're doing a fantastic job. But what are your concerns, Mr. Phillips, re BIMPay? Are you concerned about the protecting of BAJANS in this with this new technology?
Well, look, we all know that BIMPay is a instant payment system. You get your money right away, bam, and that's a plus, right? And I look at some of the advantages. You get your instant payment, you get your money can be transferred and received within seconds, rather than using the traditional check. So you got to go to the bank, get in a line and stand up long and wait for money. Or if you do a money transfer, sometimes that could be expensive, right? Then you got the government is touting about greater financial inclusion, where even if you don't have a bank account, you could be on this platform and you're in the system and you're getting money. That also have a double-edged sword. We talk about convenience. The system operates 24/7, morning, noon, and night. That is good, right? They're saying that it will benefit small businesses because they will get their money instantly, rather than have some people can get a bounce check and all kind of foolishness, right? It reduces the dependency on cash. Some people don't got change. Some people don't want to walk around with a lot of money in their pocket to pay for services, right? But there are some disadvantages, and that's what we're
before you go any further, Jason, someone is saying that, but you know, we had instant payment system already in Barbados. So what is the problem? What is the problem that BIMPay is solving?
Well, for example, let me talk about First Pay, which is with the CIBC, First Caribbean International Bank. Now, you are limited because you have to be a customer of that bank. So, right? But this BIMPay is all inclusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a bank account. All that is necessary that the institutions must be participating in this BIMPay platform. So credit unions, government departments, banks, and so on. Once they are part and parcel of the BIMPay platform, the instant payment system, you can send, receive, and receive money, right? But let's move on to the concerns of Barbadians, right? One, there are privacy concerns. Some citizens worry that the digital transaction creates a record, and that may allow greater monitoring of spending habits. So the government now, while they're not focusing on making money from BIMPay, although they may earn small pieces of money, I don't know. The real issue here is that they can see what you are doing. And people who operate underground businesses, or even if it's a legitimate business, government is not going to see the money that is transferred to your account, how much money you're paying out, and sometimes they can even question these payments. They are not able to tax you too. So let's say you're operating a little snow cone business and you're making $200 or $400 a day. A lot of people in Barbados that work in offices will make $400 a day. The government is now in a position to tax the snow cone vendor, the coconut vendor, the nut seller. So while they talk about money is fast, the government is now seeing what you're doing, the amount of revenue that you're earning, and they are able to say, hey, buddy, you meet the threshold, we can tax you. Cybersecurity risk. No system is perfect. And this could be targeted by cyber criminals. So you might got some money in your wallet, and then you wake up tomorrow and the money is not there. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's a possibility, right? And you have to be very careful, because if someone gets your passcode, your password, right, they got the potential to hack your wallet and spend your money, because all they need is your password and maybe your username. Remember that BIMPay operates just like a wallet. The only difference is an electronic wallet opposed to your wallet that's in your pocket. So just how you can store money in your wallet, you can store money in the BIMPay wallet. Just how you can pay people, you can pay people only difference is it's not physical cash, it is an electronic payment. You can receive money, somebody give you some money, you put it in your pocket. You got an issue now though. Let's say a man on the street said, Jason, I want $5. Now, if you don't have a cell phone or a tablet or a computer, imagine if we were totally cashless. He can't get the money. You need a device. You need electricity or current, or your battery on your device must be charged. You need Wi-Fi. So in as much as we say that this thing is fast and quick, if you don't have data on your phone, if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you might got challenges if you got a glitch in the system and you got a small business. For as long as that glitch remains not fixed, you are not making money. Am I making sense to you?
Yes, most definitely. And on the point of privacy, I think that you are underscoring what the cybersecurity Neil Harper, what the professional, what he was saying. And I was listening to you, and I read some of what you sent ahead of time, and you're right on the money, because I just want to remind the audience that what Neil Harper is saying about privacy is the concern about privacy is exactly what Jason is speaking of. And he is saying that through the financial information, it's going to reveal a lot about ourselves, where we shop and who we support, Jason, where we donate our money, what are the services that we use, as you rightly said. And go right ahead.
I can tell you something. No, we have a lot of underground businesses in Barbados, nefarious businesses, but people must survive. Some people can't get a job in the formal sector, and people there are people who were making money selling things that probably it is illegal, that are illegal, and those people now are going to be challenged because when someone going to pay you with a digital wallet for an item, so you're going to see people passing large sums of money to and fro. Government is not going to question it. What this money is about, right? And they may investigate, and then it might be good in a sense where
it's good in terms of crime. I think it's a good thing in that sense. But it's just what I think the concern is just for regular people, that if I say I want to, I might say, you know what, I'm supporting a political party or a movement. Supposing the people want to give towards the Marcia Weekes Show, for example.
This government now will be able to see who is donating money to that political party or institution, and they can target that institution. In fact, the person might even refuse to support a political party or a group, right? Look, this is why I was at church this morning, right? And when the play came around, people just put in their money. How are we going to give offering at church? People like to know that they're doing something physical and they're receiving their blessings physical. And not only that, all the citizens and persons unfamiliar with digital technology may face difficulties adapting to the system despite training. Some people just don't like this cyber thing. People want to hold cash in their hands, and there are some people that will not adapt. So is government going to move over time? Government is going to move to a cashless system economy, or are we going to have a dual economy, right? These are some of the questions that people are concerned about. Look, if we get technical failures, outages, or implementation issues, what's going to happen? We're going to have a disruption in the economy insofar as transactions are concerned. What is government going to do about that? Look. BIMPay represents a significant modernization of Barbados' payment infrastructure. It offers faster transactions. It will improve payment systems in Barbados. But at the same time, we have to look at how it is going to affect the average Barbadian. How about the Barbadian that does not have a cell phone, a tablet or computer, does not have access to internet, the Wi-Fi on a regular basis? Some people only have Wi-Fi when they go to certain buildings or institutions, but when they walk across the road, they can't just buy something if they don't have data on their phone. And these are the little things that government must concern. I am concerned if we are going completely cashless over time. That's one thing I'm concerned about. Number two, I'm concerned that government is going to have a lot of information on people. And we know that with this information comes power. You know who is getting what and how much they're getting, and how are Barbadians going to safeguard themselves? What safeguards are there to protect Barbadians from people knowing too much about your financial business, about cyber crime, and so on? We need more information. That's a fact.
Yeah. But one of the things, and we want to open the line right now for people to call in. So feel free to call in. Feel free to call in. One of the things that occurred last night when it was being launched at this, I don't know if it was before they started the pajama party or while the pajama party was going on. I don't know if people realize that the prime minister she made the first transaction, or she made a transaction from her, she made a BIMPay transaction. She's showing that it works. And would you believe that it appears as though her banking information was made public. You could see the amount, you could see her bank balance in the prime minister's account. You could see how much she paid. Did you realize that? And that became viral. People took a screenshot of it. People took a screenshot. Anybody saw that? People literally took a screenshot of it and sent it all over. It was sent to me. I didn't share it out, but it was sent to me. And Dave will just quickly show you something on screen and thing, because it's out there. So this is when it occurred here. This is when it occurred. And listen, you're talking about people who are very, 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 who can know what they're doing. And somebody put this on TikTok. This is where you saw her phone and was able to read the stuff. And was able to read the stuff. Was able to read her bank balance and her account. And guess what? Notice that the video currently unavailable. When it went viral, then they took down the video. And this is what I want to say about this, that this is why the trust issue that Neil Harper is speaking of, Jason Phillips, is so important. How can you trust a government that can be this careless? This is a prime minister of a country, and they are launching this app. This is supposed to be so safe and here it is. You have employed people, the people you have around you, I guess because it was a party, or they were going into a party atmosphere, right? Because they were going into a party atmosphere, then they were able to, then people weren't focused. And our information was there, and it was important enough. Archie didn't want it out there. They went and they took down the video. Careless. This should not happen to the Prime Minister of Barbados. It should not. But this is how they roll out what they're doing. You understand? They're red. Somebody said red on unready. Red on unready. Why would the Prime Minister, if you are organizing, there must be somebody producing this event. Who is in charge? Heads would need to roll that the Prime Minister's information would hit social media. That is crazy. But there was a call, but go ahead and let me, any other comments on BIMPay while I access this call? Hello, everybody. Okay. Okay, what's happening there? Jason? It doesn't matter if it was a test account, right? It doesn't matter if it was a test account. The point is that, you know what? They went and they took it down because it was wrong. Whatever happened was something that should not have happened. It should not have happened. Hello, Jason?
Yes, my charge is finished on my phone, so I'm back on my computer. Let's hope that will work.
Okay. All right. You're there? Okay. Okay, then when we went and checked, it said they took it down, and if you should probably check now, Dario, L Productions, if you go and check, you probably will see that it's re-edited, it's edited out. But when we went to check this evening and we checked, and last night, the video was removed.
I'm sure somebody had that saved though.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, we already, it was sent to me, and it's in our phone.
Okay.
You know. So there was a call, and any other thoughts there, Jason? Okay, there's a call coming in. I have a caller. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show.
Hi, good night, Miss Marcia Weekes and Jason Jennifer St. Peter.
Yes, Jason Phillips.
Good.
Thank you.
Jennifer St. Peter. Yeah, Miss Marcia Weekes.
Yes, sir.
I will let you to when Mrs. Strickland is on. I'll let you accept a call or two because I got some questions to ask him.
You have some questions. What you can do, because of the way how the program runs, sometimes it's not always, I'm not always able to do that. So if you send me the questions, I will send them to Mrs. Strickland for you. Okay?
Yes, well.
Okay.
I can ask the politician in the house, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips, why should someone pay national insurance for 5 years? They pay for 5 years, but then they draw out the system. There was layoff and they were paying national insurance then. Now they're going to get some money for national insurance. They reach 60, 67, now they're going to get some money, some pension. Why insurance will not give that gentleman?
Because you have to make a number of contributions. You have to make a certain number
from that gentleman.
You have to make a certain number of contributions.
Yes. What you will have to do now, sir, you will have to hang up, and so that Jason can answer and you can hear. Yeah. That's just how our system works. And just so you know, that kind of question, you can send it directly to, as well as posing it to Mr. Phillips, you can also send it to me, and I will send it to Mr. Strickland, because he is the person on the show who deals with NIS. Yeah. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yeah. Caller, you have to make a certain number. You have to make a certain number of contributions in order to be entitled for a pension. So if your number of contributions does not reach the required amount, then you are in trouble.
Okay, you were saying that he probably did not reach the
number of contributions.
Okay. The line is open up. Continue, Jason. Any other comments you had on BIMPay? Go right ahead and make that while I seek to access the next caller.
You know, I'm just concerned about, and I was talking about it earlier, when we look at the people who have businesses that are on the ground, or businesses that were not traditionally captured in the tax net, not sellers, coconut vendors.
Yes, hold a second there, Jason. Hold your thought there, please. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show.
Good night, Marcia, and good night to Jason. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Anyway, the level of frustration and anxiety in Barbadians has gone past unbearable fever pitch. And I think that it is about time that we recognize that we have a crisis of governance in Barbados. And if we do not come to that realization, then we are not going to solve the problems that are confronting us. Now, I would say, Mr. Phillips, I want you to check this out since you are an attorney. This crisis of governance began on May 25th, 2018, when Barbadians failed to elect a leader of the opposition. And that was repeated in 2022 and 2026. I was looking at the statutory instrument, let me go to the 1966 independence order, okay? And section 74(1) states that there shall be a leader of the opposition who shall be appointed by at the time, the Governor General, but in this case now, it would be the President. The fact that the electorate did not elect a leader of the opposition or a member of parliament who could sit as the leader of the opposition does not excuse what is happening in Barbados today. Because the reason why I'm saying there's a crisis of governance is that the executive authority of Barbados is incomplete, because the leader of the opposition forms part of the executive authority of Barbados. And the leader of the opposition has a very important role to play in that he is the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, and he calls meetings of that committee to analyze government's expenses. And the fact that we don't have a leader of the opposition and a chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, to my mind, says that Barbados is in a crisis of governance. The other part to that crisis is that there is no Republican constitution, because if you discard the Queen as head of state and you discard her role, then, and you say you are a republic, then you need to have a constitution that reflects the Republican status of Barbados. You can't just willy-nilly amend the colonial or the independence constitution and call it an independence constitution. And then when you look at what is happening in Barbados, right? The number of legislation, for example, the anti-defection bill. I mean, what is happening to us? So we have a crisis of governance in Barbados, and until we can come to that realization and resolve that issue of governance, we're not going to solve our problems.
Yes. Thank you, caller.
The caller is making
you will have to hang up and then listen to the broadcast. Thank you for your questions and your very important comments. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
The caller is making a fundamental contribution. It is very, very important what the caller said. And I said in the first item in the electoral reform that I made mention, I said, where there is a voter turnout of 40% or less, elections must be held within 3 months from the day of the election. No party must be allowed to form a government with such few voter support. And not only that, if this government is really interested in democracy, it should never want to have a government where there's only one party in parliament. Right now, Barbados is a de facto one-party state. And we have an elected dictator, right? No one in parliament, there's no parliamentary oversight as relates to the passing of bills and legislation. There's no real oversight as it relates to the spending of our taxes. The government goes to court, goes to parliament. They decide how much money they want, They can even say that they're overruns and they want supplementaries and so on. And there's no one to say what is happening with the taxpayers' money. Who is now heading the Public Accounts Committee? As it stands, the Prime Minister has too much power. And if the Prime Minister is interested in electoral reform, where you have a government where you get all 30 seats, an election should be held within 3 months of that election, and where the voter turnout is below 40%. Because we need transparency, we need accountability in our parliament. Right now, there's no real accountability, there's no real transparency in parliament. And it seems to be fine. This government seems to be happy with a one-party state.
Yeah.
They don't want any opposition. And why? Why they don't want any opposition? And they do everything to frustrate elections. Last election, the voters list was not ready. And I said it, I'm going to say it again. Where the integrity of the voters list is questionable, the election itself becomes questionable too. And Barbados is now facing a conundrum. Serious problem in governance. I know we're supposed to be talking about BIMPay, right? But the caller raised an important issue as it relates to governance, right? And I believe that we should have gone back to the poll for a number of reasons. The voters list was not ready. Too many Barbadians were denied the right to vote, right? And just like how they rush and pass anti-deflection legislation that you can't cross the floor, and now they put out this BIMPay. These people or this government is doing things that they believe it is in their favor. Are they making policy for the entire nation, for people, right? Because election reform is important insofar as we having an opposition, and not only opposition, a strong opposition that can question the behavior and actions of government. And we will, as you said, Mrs. Weekes, we will continue to look at electoral reform in Barbados, because Barbados are not happy at all. Back to BIMPay.
Yeah.
We're saying that, look, this platform is okay. We don't have a problem with it, but we can see issues down the road. Getting money, getting an instant payment system is good.
Let me disturb you there 1 minute, because we told the callers to call in, so you know they're going to call. We have a caller on the line, but I wanted to make note of what you were saying so we could go back to it. And then I know that there is something that Dave wants us to listen to from another show. So go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, caller. Good night and welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show.
It's a blessed good night to you, your host, to you and all who are listening.
Yeah.
Marcia, one of the things that I'm looking at right now is what have become one of our basic necessities, and that is electricity. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, it seems as though the more we go forward, it seems as though we're going backwards. Mm. Or it was okay to have wireless. We had telephones connected to a line, and everybody felt pretty good to know that they could call one another from one line to the next. Then we advanced and went wireless, which was probably good because we could have now talk without the problems of a cord. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But now we had advanced to the point where the modem has now to be connected to electricity. When electricity goes off, a lot of us have no more phone.
Yeah.
All right, and that will be a problem in itself. Now, another problem that I'm looking at that down the road is, I mean, we're looking to advance and have this e-billing and BIMPay and such like. But what if a monkey caused electricity to go off for the whole week? How is business going to be transacted now? So you see how we're creating some monsters as we go, and we're not even saying, well, whatever. So that's just my 2 cents for this BIMPay thing and the electricity.
Yes, thank you so much, caller. If you hang up,
I want to jump in here, Mr. Weekes.
Comment here. Caller, thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. So you could just hang up and you can listen to any comments that we're going to make from your offering tonight.
Okay.
Aaron Hines is saying something here, which I think we need to look at some of these systems. I started to research it tonight, Adrian, but we didn't have the time on the show to bring it, so we'll probably continue it tomorrow. But he says the Swiss have Swish, their version of BIMPay, and it has issues, and the government has told its citizens to continue to hold cash in case of cyber attacks and or internet outages. And this is real, folks, and this is why we are doing the show. We're not here to criticize the government. We're here to protect Barbadians. That's why this show exists and why we're doing this tonight. Any comment on what the caller has called about, Jason?
Yes. I don't know if you saw the wireless router on my Instagram and Facebook. As a spokesperson for small business and entrepreneurship, I went around the constituency of St. Peter and I found a guy, Joshua. We call him Josh. He is marketing a wireless router. So if you do not have electricity, it is solar. And basically, it affords you to have Wi-Fi without being connected to the electrical grid. So if you are concerned about the BIMPay and not having current, that could be a solution. So if you go on my Instagram page, is Vote Jason Phillips, or Facebook, you will see the wireless routers there. That could be a solution for you, and it's very, very cheap, right? Marcia, I hope you don't mind me advertising the youngsters' business on your show, but helping young people is good. All right, I'm not benefiting from it.
But it's a Barbadian business.
I'm not benefiting from it in any way, form, shape, or fashion. He lives in St. Peter, and take a look. Go on my Instagram or Facebook, and you will see the wireless router, and it gives you access to Wi-Fi.
Yes, but thank you so much, Dave. You have something you want to repeat? You were saying something, Jason?
Yes, and it would assist with the BIMPay.
Assist. Okay. All right. Dave, you have something you wanted to play? Go right ahead, please.
To us, sir.
Yeah, hi. First of all, good morning to the moderator. Good morning, Mr. Winter.
Morning to you.
Is Mr. Torrance still on?
Yes, he's still here.
Okay, all right. Well, morning to him as well. All right, I'm kind of going to steer the conversation into a different direction.
This is your program, sir, not a problem.
Right, so have you guys heard the latest about BIMPay?
The latest?
Yeah, in terms of, I shouldn't say latest, but the conversation surrounding BIMPay in terms of when it's coming online and stuff like that.
Yeah, in a matter of days, 2 days to be precise. And they've also put out some notices regarding disruption to the network for a short period of time as the transition takes place.
Right, so sometime, I think week before last, or was it the week before that one? I called in because I had some concerns about BIMPay, right? One of my concerns was based on the email that I got from my banking institution is that when it is BIMPay comes online, the system that we currently use for like real-time payment transactions will be retired and replaced by BIMPay.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that what it sounds like is that a central bank is going to put itself in a position to monitor people's real-time payment transactions, right? Now that was at that point just a claim based on the information that I got. But I did some research and that claim was substantiated, right? So I don't know if you're in a position to do so, but you're able to do like a quick Google search.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. So the website I went on was www.bimpay.bb. And when you go on the website, you're going to scroll down to the About BIMPay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you click that, then you will scroll down that page and look under BIMPay legislation. And what you're clicking is the National Payment System Act. And then when you get there, you can scroll to page 17. I can just read what page 17 says. Because it's scary to me. And I think, I don't think I'm the only person that when it is to read that, they're going to be scared as well. Because that doesn't sound like anything that the central bank should be in a position to do. All right, so on page 17, the heading is Powers and Duties of the Central Bank. Oversight and Administration of the National Payment System, that's the subheading. So is the central bank shall, point 1, modernize, regulate, monitor, and oversee the national payment system in the public interest. So seeing that, and that's substantiating what it is, I had concerns about that is worrying me. Especially when it is, I understand that there's nothing wrong with the system that we have now. So why is it without any kind of real consultation from the public, they're retiring a system and replacing it with one we did not ask for?
Okay, well, valid questions. I can't answer these questions for you.
Hold it there, Dave. Very interesting, and this is something that I can guarantee you that we are going to pick up on tomorrow's show, because I am saying that we exist to protect Barbadians. We will protect Barbadians. I think we have another caller. Write any notes you have, Jason, because this is their time to call in. So let me let him call. Yes, caller.
My time is coming to a quick end, Mrs. Weekes.
Caller.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi. Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening.
Good evening, Jason.
Good evening.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? I was telling him good evening.
Yes, well,
Good evening, caller.
So, but he heard you and he said good evening. So go right ahead and make your comment or your question, and then you will close the call.
Jason was talking about the scene this evening is who really protecting us. Who's really where is the protection? There's no protection, because if there was protection, the people that would have been able to bid for that extravagant marine building that would be built down by the marina downtown, that local investors would have been able to invest in that. Instead of doing that, these to make sure that there was a loan investor, there was no bidding going on, there was no portal to give anybody a chance to do any kind of bidding so that it can locally own. Okay? So whereas the small business people, the small people in business are really getting the bad end of the stick. But let's not forget what this government said, PM said, big works coming through me. Okay? So, they made their point by saying big words come through me. Look at what is going on, for instance, in the house, the area house. There's no way in 2026, Marcia, and in loyal position that you should be able to go into an environment such as the QEH and you have hardly any pillows. You're going to walk with your own pillow. Your own sheets. That is ridiculous. But then you would get the CEO and all of them coming and trying to convince people that we are lying on them, that we're carrying tails out of school. And the facts are there. I can tell you that personally. You know, but you know, something small as gods that they used to put on patients, you know, and have them seeking donations. Where's all that money going? The time to take the money to give it to the African saying that who will be setting up shop here to do their own business and not going to be putting back things into the economy. The same economy that the governor of the central bank was saying that is so vibrant and blooming. But yet you have one, the oldest construction conglomerate selling home people. So who is really protecting you? Well, we could go on and on all night long. You know, and this is just the reality. And it's sad that people can't see the reality that Comrade Phillips and myself and you and others. The true folk there today. These people are not for us. It never was for the people, for the citizens. They're for a select few. That's why so much money is wasting than this BIMPay. This is just another way. Because I can't do the cybercrime, but this is just another way to try to get your information to try to maintain control. This government is a government of control. And I submit that to my the loyal opposition and all that can hear my voice. And the people had a chance. Another time will come for a chance for better. So let's just keep fighting, keep working, Marcia, as usual, keep up the good work. I hope they will take a leaf from your book. Continue the good work, Marcia. Comrade Phillips, keep pushing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thanks for calling. Yes, Jason, I know you've stayed longer than you intended to stay. We are willing for you to stay up until 10. Somebody here is saying that I need to give you more time. Listen, Jason has to go, okay? Has nothing to do with me. So don't ask me to give him more time. He has to go, as he told us that he's on, so the Wi-Fi is giving him trouble, etc. Okay. Yes, Jason. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Next Sunday again.
Yes, next Sunday. Same time, same place. All right.
So allow me to say good evening to the good people of St. Peter. By extension, Barbados.
I love it. God bless you. Excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. This that Dave has raised here is a very important point. But we have a caller. Let me just welcome caller. Welcome to the Marcia Weekes Show.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, David. Good night to the lawyer up.
Hey, I know that voice. It's from the diaspora. It's a dumpling from the diaspora. Yes. But it's not no big dumpling. It's a nice, shapely dumpling. Go right ahead, dumpling from the diaspora.
I'm calling tonight because of the BIMPay, and I like to keep it simple for Barbadians to understand that there are some serious gaps. And for example, this app resides on your phone. I find that Barbadians there are a lot of them that don't keep their phone number for a very long time, do a lot of SIM swapping and all those type of things. That will affect fraud. Someone can easily get your SIM card, and then you have some problems because this app is only within the phone. Another gap that I find is, you discussed that the person who does not have any digital footprint, they don't have a bank account, they can participate in this app. That sounds like crypto. Crypto does not have a bank. Crypto does not. It only exists digitally. So I understand that Sagicor will be the one who has stepped up to participate in this, meaning if you wanted like a withdrawal, you go over to Sagicor. But there are some things that I'm reading that I don't understand. Like, how are you insured? How much are you insured? How do you make a complaint? Now, the National Payment Systems Act says that you make a complaint within 21 days. If no response, it escalates to central bank, and you make the complaint through Sagicor. Then it escalates to the central bank. Then it escalates to, I guess you can go to court as a tribunal, and then to civil court. Now, someone needs their money. How, you got to go through this whole process.
Yeah.
There should be something concrete to the people that if you have a problem or complaint, since the transfer is instant, that you should be able to at least file a complaint immediately. Now, we've had this problem outside. This is what Barbados is doing, has been going on a long time outside. And Zelle had an independent app in the App Store. They closed that. It was so much fraud that now the app Zelle only lives within your bank account. You can no longer just, from app to app, transfer money, because the level of fraud and how the banks have it set up to protect themselves is you authorize the transaction. That's how they get out of not repaying you. You authorize it, so there is no fraud. You are responsible for whatever. But if someone steals your information and authorize the transaction, you are still stuck without your money. And this is completely unfair to everyone. Yes. Now, I looked also at the Data Protection Acts of 2019 and what it does. There is no mandate, there's no mandatory fraud reinforcement in Barbados Data Protection Act. The Consumer Protection Act gap, there is also, it's only written for goods, it's not written for digital products. It's only when you look up the Barbados Consumer, what is it called again? Consumer Protection.
Yes. Okay.
Act. It's only for goods, not for digital products. You look at the Computer User Act. Your rights in reference to that, it requires criminal prosecution. Are the police online with this digital fraud? I mean, because you file a complaint with the police, and the police will say, "Oh, this is a civil matter, not a criminal matter," and then you're left without a report. Also, the BDIC deposit, that's your banking deposit insurance. It's only insured up to 25,000 Barbados dollars at Sagicor. Now, also, and then we have no Cybercrime Act. Okay, we have no Cybercrime Act. So how and all these situations being prosecuted? Once again, Barbados is left to fend for themselves, and there will be no prosecution, and you'll be waiting forever for your money. So I suggest, and I say this, like I said, I like to speak in plain English. I understand how your phone works. You have to be careful. Now, you had Dave speak on they retiring the payment within your bank account and now implementing the BIMPay. Everyone who saw the video of the Prime Minister's bank information on full screen should be on alert. You should be on alert.
Correct.
Because from the first day on, from the first transaction, you see that there is a problem. There is no privacy. So this should be major concern for Barbadians. And I mean, think about it. If you lose your phone, you don't lock your phone. If you, because the biometric is not required. A two-step authentication is required, but the biometric is not required. But if someone takes a SIM card out of your phone, what do you do?
Right. And your point you're making, which I think we have to do, we have to keep this the entire week. We need a follow-up show tomorrow because you are talking here about what happens with complaints, and here this is supposed to be instant, but they're talking about it taking 21 days. You understand?
You have 21. What if you don't even know if the transaction is happened within the 21 days? What if you didn't look in your account and you have 21 days to start your complaint? What if you don't even recognize that, right? And then there is no mandate, like meaning like the US and Brazil and UK, there is an automatic mandate for the bank to do an investigation.
You see?
So that is very concerning.
We have to look into that.
Business will be without their money again. There will be, once again, your earnings, you're going to lose your earnings. And fraud. You know that Barbados had numerous data breaches, whether it was BRA, whether it was the phone company, all your names, your phone numbers, and your birthday, all the things that match that make you your persona. That is out there in the internet somewhere. Someone can create a profile, and that is the next problem, because you will start to hear people calling saying, hey, I'm your bank, I'm this, I'm that. It's happening here. I mean, like the abundance of calls that you get, but you have to know that you do not respond to those calls. You do not respond to those texts. You must go directly to your bank account and find out if there's an issue. Do not respond to any of those texts. Do not respond to any of those phone calls.
Yeah. And I mean, this is what I just something here, Michelle, before you go. This is some of what Mr. Niall, Dave says I need to say Niall Harper. He is asking, who controls the data, who can access the data, and can mistakes be corrected? Can decisions be appealed? You see, that is what he's asking.
Yes, another question is this. Another statement, where your data is stored is where it is regulated. So if Barbados is using servers off the island, and let's say in the US and the UK, that is where the rules happen for your data, wherever it is being stored.
Yeah.
So you have to know these little nuances that's going on.
What is happening. And he's talking about, cyber security, Niall Harper. Each of these proposals, we need to take it and pick it down. His fifth proposal is about cyber security. What happens if there's a cyber attack? And, exactly. What happens if we, and because of that, we can't access our money. What do we do? What can somebody explain to us?
Where is the PSA for the public to say this is how you operate? Because the easiest way to get a data breach is through the user. The user is always the one, whether we are creating lazy passwords, whether we don't want to use the two-step authentication, or where we just leave things open. We really are the ones that create a lot of cyber infiltration is through the user just being lax on how we handle our devices. So this is critical, and I'm going to tell you, here in the US, it's hell to get your money back. So I can imagine they don't answer now your complaints. They're not for sure not going to answer your complaint about any money.
This is very serious, and as somebody is saying, I love how you say there's where is the PSA to tell us about complaints. And if these proposals were made to the government by Niall Harper before BIMPay was launched, but as a rule, they do not listen to him, because he's seeking while Niall Harper is all for technology, what he's about is making sure that BAJANS are protected. And somehow this government, it does not care about us being protected. He's saying what protections exist for Barbados, what compensation exists for Barbadians if there's a cyber attack, if somebody go and take out your little bit of money out of that you have. You understand?
Exactly.
What is supposed to happen?
You look at the National Payment System Act, you look at the Data Protection Act, you look at the Consumer Protection Act, you look at the Computer Misuse Act, the DBIS Deposit Insurance, and the lack of a Cybercrime Act. All of those seem to be operating separately. They don't stack on top of each other. That's how legislation work and policies work. One stacks on top of the other, and we have not heard from the police. Do they have a digital unit? Because, Barbados is trying to get modern now. Do they have a digital unit? These are crimes. These are not civil acts. These are crimes.
Yes.
Do they have a digital unit to carry this out.
That's a very we need to carry this, has to continue. If there's anybody listening up there that you can help us with this kind of research and to be able to put it together so we need to get this information out to protect Bajans. And I know they're listening. I know you are listening, and I want you to listen. I want you to listen, government, and give us this information.
No one is saying that we should not go digital. Absolutely not. Barbados should be at the forefront of whatever else everyone else is doing. But do you have this proper infrastructure to combat? Because you just have to look out your window to see what's going on. This should not have even be implemented because it already has happened. All these things I'm discussing has already happened. Barbados is just behind the curve right now.
Yeah. Thank you, caller. We're going to continue this. I'll give you a call off air, and we have to collate this information. We have to put it together in a way that it's friendly and it's easy to get out. We've got to get this information out. Thank you so much.
All right. Good night. Good night. Love Barbados.
Love you too, Michelle. Listen, who is protecting Bajans? Who is protecting Bajans? I keep saying nobody's coming to protect us. We've got to figure it out ourselves, people. We have to come on here and to figure it out ourselves. And that's what we're using the show. We're not intending to put out any propaganda. What I had to say tonight on it, I know I'm no expert on this. And so what I had to do I was basically relaying to you what I was given from Niall Harper to share with you. And if you're going to call that propaganda, then only God can help you. Only God can help you. You are serving a different purpose. Our purpose, we're here to protect Bajans. We're not operating on behalf of any political party, on no group, but who you see here. All of us, almost 1,000 of us on here tonight. Who is protecting Barbadians? And I'm saying, and because you're going to start out now and tell us that, oh, you don't have to, just like with the card, with the ID card, you don't have to pin it, but then you turn around and say we had to pin it in order to get services. We have it. And when we come and we say it, you say it's propaganda. I bet you this is going to become so mandatory for everybody. The way they set it up, they know exactly what they're doing. And you know what they had been doing? Let me see if I'm making sure I didn't miss any callers. Did I miss anybody? We have 2 minutes. Okay, I think we got everybody who called. I don't want to miss anybody. Yes, we got everybody who called. I want to say this. I noted something that was happening, right? And call me a conspiracy theorist. Go ahead. I'd rather be on the side of caution. But anyway, a couple of persons from different churches were calling and telling me that I don't understand. Is it elections? Are we having elections? Why is it that these people are, these BLP politicians and these MPs are turning up to churches? And I was saying, why are they doing that? They appeared at Gospel Fest. The first in the history of Gospel Fest, really. Probably not, I'm not sure, but that person is there. And then they went to the ISCF stand and pick up the Interschool Christian Fellowship banner and stood up with it on Instagram. And then that happened, and then they were at a church, and they went to another church on the next Sunday, and these MPs were going to churches. And I'm like, but they normally do that when there's an election. This is what I'm thinking, right? Pedro. And then I thought to myself, I know what it is. They were coming with BIMPay. They know they're going for a cashless system. The only organization inside of here that will stand up and defy them, as they're doing in Jamaica, is the church. Because the church, based on the scriptures, is against the cashless system. And those wicked people were visiting churches, appearing at Christian events, giving out $5 million so that the church would keep quiet. That was your hush money. That was your hush money. So that you would not speak out against this, the cashless system in its embryonic stage. And you know what? A lot of you're sucker for it. They come, oh, they're at my church. Oh my God, you know who was at my church? Did you realize why they were at your church? While you're swooning all over them, by the next weekend, here comes BIMPay. How many of you took the $5 million? What part of the $5 million did you get? Don't you realize? I'm speaking now to Christian people. So if you're not Christian, you don't need to comment. It is your hush money against the cashless system. It's your hush money about all that is down the pipeline that's coming to you that is against your Christian belief. Huh? But you already took the people money. And in fact, one of the stipulation or the requirement is that there are particular things that you cannot teach from the Bible if you're going to take that money. But you went and you took it. And there is something in Revelation, I'm talking to the Christian people now. Give me a break. Let me talk to them. There's something in Revelation that based on what you're doing, I'm sure you will take that too. You will take that too. Because without that, you're not going to be able to do any commerce. Oops. And you want comfort, don't you? You want the comfort. So you're going to take that too. It's not just the 5 million you're going to take. It's not just oh, this person was at my church. Do you know who was at my church? Oh, foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Then, by the next weekend, they've started the cashless system in your behind. Huh? But you are busy swooning. The moment they turn up at your church, you must always ask, what do they want? What do they want? They come at your church. It's not election time. Oops. Oh boy, what is going on here? You should be more suspicious than you are swooning over them and telling everybody who was at your church. Oh, this person is at Gospel Fest. Oh my God. Oh my God. We are praying for their salvation. They must be getting saved. Ooh, did you see that they picked up the Interschool Christian Fellowship logo and banner and put it up there? Do you see how you're going to get caught? Go in Revelation and read it and see what you're going to take. You know yourself. What you're going to take. And they know you're going to take it because you're gravelicious and craven. You see, y'all don't want me to talk like this. But they come right the next weekend because they were setting you up. That's why they were visiting your church. And they have done their research. And they know the frontier, the people that they have to deal with is a church relating to this digital ID, and the cashless system is a church. And you fell for it, didn't you? Wow. Anyway, this is where we end. Tonight is 10:04, and I'm not going to keep you long because I want you to be up and ready for tomorrow, because we're going to go all in tomorrow again. So we might change our programming a little bit tomorrow. We're still going to talk about the oil. We have to talk about the oil tomorrow, but we're going to go a bit into BIMPay, and we're going to break down what Niall Niall, I said it right. Niall Harper said, okay, we're going to use that as our base because we're not experts on it. He's an expert, okay? And he's not coming from a Christian perspective at all, okay? So we're going to focus on that, all right? God bless you all. Thank you to Stephen Strickland for doing a very informative program. Thank you also to Jason Phillips. God bless you. Thank you, Dave, for your support and what you shared tonight. Thank you to everybody. Remember the dinner with Dad and the donations that we're looking for. I will tell you more about that tomorrow. Unfortunately, we didn't, but just to tell you that we need 220 feet tent, 220 foot, 20 by 20 tent. That's the major thing that we need. We need lots of other things, but we need 220 by 20 tent. Do you have any at home sitting down? Or you have a business that has it and you can lend it to us? 220 by 20 tents. Can you please, because of the weather, we want to make sure we're covered. Is there anybody can lend that to us? We're going to take good care of it. We will come and pick it up if we need to. Please, we need that. We need also some gifts for the fathers. We wanted to get some gift for the fathers as well. And tomorrow night, we'll go a little bit more into dinner with Dad. Okay? All right. And this is where I sign off. Good night to everybody. A Fair Society by, oh my God, Apache.
Too much pain and agony, too much mothers facing tragedy, not another statistic. He was a real man, somebody's son, 6 feet underground, somebody's father who won't be around, and the cycle it just repeats. Fatherless son shot down in the street. 240 sons killed in the last 7 years, along with the pain and tears, families still living in fear. Society failed, society failed. When every day we see our sons getting buried or going jail, society failed. All are we fail. You could stop there and point your finger, but we are the ones to blame. Society fail. Society fail. You could sit down in your denial. God knows this crisis is real. Society fail. All are we fail. These are open wounds that time alone cannot heal. 14 years old and he get expelled. Life at home is a living hell. Too young to go polytechnic, only a little boy. Every day, no, he congregates on the block where he gets elevated but still lacking identity. The gang is the surrogate family, indoctrinated, bound by loyalty, thinking that's where he belongs. Another victim of the system, Lord, where did I go wrong? Society failed. Society failed. When every day we see our sons in the paper on the front page. Society failed. All are we fail. While we talk on brass tacks each day, another son gone down in the grave. Society failed. Society failed. When so many now get rejected, That neglect does turn to regret. Society fail, all our we fail. Sadly, every statistic now tells the tale. Parents trying to make ends meet, working hard 7 days a week, every day they trying their best. Is this the price of progress? So now the cat gone before the horse in the heart. All they feel is lost. Can't wait till the tree gets strong. We got to shape them when they are young. What we fight is not flesh and blood, so we can fight it on we own. Let me take this one to the throne. Holy King Jesus could bring them home. Society fail, society fail. When they choose to turn a blind eye, pretend the gun dropping from the sky. Society fail, all our we fail. From Parliament to the Senate, the policies and the laws they make. Society fail, society fail. From the classroom to the pulpit, church and state are all in it. Society fail, all our we fail. Just to make the grade, our young men now must be saved.